Greetings all, and welcome back to Math in Anger. This is episode 32. We are discussing parts of one, how we write that, how we think about it, how we write it. And in this particular section, we are talking about converting between fractions and mixed numbers. Right, before I continue though, I need to point out, guys, there's a reason I keep this triangle down here throughout these episodes. It's so you can refer to it. If you do not know where this triangle comes from and what it means, you are not going to understand what I'm going to explain in this episode. Please, everybody, I am not a normal YouTuber. I do not ask you to subscribe or buy t-shirts with slogans or support on Patreon. I'm not interested in any of that. The only thing I ask you is to help yourself. Please follow these episodes in sequence. If you don't, you're not going to keep up with me and you're not going to understand what I do in later episodes. Do not attempt to jump into the middle of this. Right. For the rest of us who have followed these episodes in sequence, here we go. Here we have an improper fraction. And the nice thing about this one is our additive is going to go into our product neatly. In other words, there is no remainder. Nothing remains, right? But take a look at how I did the conversion, right? I went and did this little bit of long division. Again, if you don't know what I'm doing here, previous episodes. Thank you. And that the result of this long division is an integer. That then is, there you go. I've just done my conversion from an improper fraction to an integer, right? Let's take a look at doing it in reverse. In other words, going from an integer to an improper fraction. And here's what we do. The question here is typically something like, write 9 as an improper fraction of 2, or write 9 as an improper fraction of 3, and here of 4. And all you do is you go do the multiplication. Your product, then you go and write your product over your additive. Same thing here, same thing here. Again, refer back to the triangle. Right? And here you can see that 9 is in balance with 18 over 2 is in balance with 27 over 3 is in balance with 36 over 4. And yeah, again, if you guys don't know what I mean by in balance with, go back to episode 1, please. Right. But this situation is specifically for when you do not have a remainder. Now let's go and take a look at what happens when we do have a remainder. You guys see here we've got our improper fraction. I went and did the long division and I had a remainder. Right? So I take my integer portion of the long division, I write it down, and I go and write the remainder over my additive. So 17 of something that's broken into 2 is equal to 8 and 1 of 2. And here, again, we're going to go back from a mixed number to an improper fraction. The way we do that is we take the integer portion of our mixed number. Perhaps the integer portion of our mixed number, and we go and work out what that would be as an improper fraction. And there you go. And then we go and add the fractional part of our mixed number to it. Once you've done the addition, there's your answer. Again, guys, if you don't know what's going on here, go back. Please help yourself get good at this. You deserve to get good. Right. Then there is only one other thing that I really need to point out to you, and is take a look at this. Here we have a proper fraction. Now, it's a proper fraction because it's purely a part of 1. There's no whole part here. It is just a part of 1. Right? So, you can't write it. You could try to write it as a mixed number, but basically what you're trying to do there is you're trying to say 0 plus your fractional part, right? So you're basically trying to write 0 and 1 over 2. So yeah, this is why you don't get asked to write a proper fraction as a mixed number in an exam. It's because it actually doesn't make sense, right? Because your proper fraction, it tells you everything you need to know about the value, and that's why we write it this way. Okay, now you know how to convert between fractions and mixed numbers, and guys, go ahead, go try this. It works. Go have fun. I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.